that Macintosh stuff that I reviewed back in April, right?
Mm.
And I sent them a link. I said, hey, I'm done reviewing this. I'm ready to send it back, but are you guys interested in selling it or willing to sell it? Because I've already got it. Do you offer some kind of like discount price? Because I want to buy it if the price is right. And I mean, I won't get into prices, but they offered me a not like, oh my God, discount, but it was a pretty dang good discount. And if they had replied back to me in April, I probably would have bought it. But the dude emailed me this morning. He said, hey, we're doing some end of year cleanup and it seems I overlooked your email. I was like, yeah, you did. He's like, are you still interested? And I was like, I mean, I am, but I probably can't afford it now. And he emailed me back, the price again. And I was just like, yeah, I was like, I'll send it back to you. So I'll be sending all that stuff back soon. I'm sad, but it had to go at some point. I just can't afford to keep Macintosh stuff around. I would like to, but
so did it improve your life? Did it like make all your dreams come true? The fact that you could turn it on, saw the light, like was
it did. Yeah. The best part about it was somebody would say, how much power do my speakers need? And I would be like, well, at 10 feet away, it's about 45 watts. So I just watched the meters. On average, about 45 watts.
Okay, so you had the meters. So when we always talk about like, how much power are we really using?
Yeah.
Like, on average, what do you think people are really using? Full range speaker, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about 80 hertz crossover. I'm talking about like, okay, so what is that number?
Yeah, I mean, like bookshelf speakers is usually what I was testing it on. I mean, really, it was typically around like 45 to 50 watts. Usually is where I would see it at my output levels at about 10 feet away.
And would smaller speakers actually require more power to get it to the volume?
I mean, like you could tell a difference. Yeah, you could tell a difference when the sensitivity was lower, right? Like I could tell that the wattage was a little bit higher versus a higher sensitivity speaker. But the size of the speaker wasn't really ever a factor. It was just mainly came down to sensitivity or the load. But that's the thing I liked about that amp is it had 3 different, it had 2, 4, and 8 ohm taps. So depending on the impedance of the speaker, you use the correct tap. Right. So I think more than likely I'm going to wind up buying one of those Purify modules, something like that.
What was the loudest when you cranked it? Like you're really like, all right, I'm going to listen loud. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
What's the highest you really got that thing?
I don't know that I ever paid attention, but I feel like 90 was probably
90
like,
watts.
Yeah.
Okay, because Chana and I were laughing because we're reading through these Arendal, they have that nice thick manual and showing all the specs on the speakers.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the tower that says wattage, recommended wattage, something like that, or 500 watts RMS.
200.
500 watts RMS is what it says on the towers. I'm like, what? How is that going to sound?
That is? Yeah, is that like for that's when I was like, okay, what size room? Maybe that's be like 30 feet away.
That's a huge.
Yeah,
that's a big room. Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious now.
3,000 cubic feet is what it's THX Ultra, so it's rated for 3,000 cubic feet. 3,000. And I calculated my garage, and it's large. Mine's 3,400 cubic feet.
That's loud.
It's just.
And I'm like, I would never want to get close to this.
12 feet away is what it said for.
I'm curious now. Away from walls. Well, near a wall is pretty typical. I'm pulling up this website, this calculator. Actually, if you guys want to see it, I'll just try to see if I can.
Okay.
Real fast. Because I always like playing around with this website.
Oh, okay. So the SPL calculator.
Yeah.
Throw up here.
So if I'm just assuming 85 watt sensitivity, 500 watt.
It's actually they claim 92, and I can tell you that's somewhat over there because my previous speakers were the Encore T6 towers, and they're 86, something like that. These are significantly louder if I do a direct swap, and I even my sub was not even close to loud enough. I had to bump that up to even sound decent. So anyway, okay, let's just say 90. Okay.
I'm just going to say 90, 12 feet away because that's really far, right? And then number of speakers, 2 in a room, near a wall, calculate. 111 dB at 12 feet.
What happens if it was really that 92? Because I find that Arendal speakers are pretty good about their measurement data.
113. So yeah, it's just
okay. So not a ton.
Not huge.
113 at the listening position. Okay. So I sit 9 feet. I sit about 9 feet. So 116.
Yeah, 116.
What is that OSHA thing? What does that allow?
Oh, that's a good question.
OSHA DB hearing. SPO.
Yeah, do that.
Occupational noise exposure. Yeah. I don't know if I can find it.
Hey, am I making another Magic Beans video once it's actually out? Like how to do
You're asking me if you're gonna make one?
I mean, do you want another one? You want me to do it, like once it's out? I mean, I'm gonna have to. You know what? I gotta do these. If I got more speaker sticks, I gotta do another config.
Open.
But maybe I'll. But I gotta do. I don't know. We'll talk about it later. Okay. Wendell, it's for Wendell. He says, "Will it come with instructions? I need to know what I'm doing." So it's pretty easy, Wendell. My dumbass can do it by myself in 20 minutes.
Man, I can't. I see the photos on Google Photos and I can't bring them up. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
You should be able to do it.
So that was 116. Reverend Slim was asking what happens if you drop it down 200.
I don't know. Let's just say we drop it down to 250. That's 3 dB. So that'd be
3 dB.
Okay. And then 125 would be another 3. So that'd be, I can't math in my head, to 110. Regardless.
Pain begins.
Pain begins. Police siren. A very loud sound. Danger. Danger.
Legal action level.
Yeah. Look at that, 90 dB.
See, I don't know if this is even
everybody get out in the field and put on a hairdryer.
Yeah, because I mean, this is also like time of exposure too. Like there's some things that says like 30 minutes or longer can be can damage, you know?
You know, the problem with these things is always that it doesn't specify, or they might in the spec, but on the image, it doesn't show the frequency response. Like police siren is like, you know, it's a high pitched sound versus like having 120 with a high pitch and bass and everything. I don't wonder how that's calculated.
Yeah.
Like a firework has a lot of bass in it.
Oh, so
higher frequency too.
I'll do this for what I was talking about a second ago.
Okay. You bringing something up?
Yeah. So,
20.
You know, most speakers, I would say 86, 85 on average. So I was talking about the Macintosh. If I said 40, let's say 45 watts,
okay,
then it's about 99 decibels.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's actually pretty, I would say that's probably pretty reasonable, you know? So I would say that my guess is probably pretty reasonable. If I double that to where I'm like just doing stupid stuff to see how loud I can get, 103. So I'd say it's about right.
It says right here, like a hairdryer, between a hairdryer and a helicopter.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
So that 500 watts, though, is starting to get to like silly loud levels. Yeah, I don't know. I would, that loud. You probably have to wear hearing protection.
That can't be. That's got to be like, well, I don't know. I don't know how they're speccing it, but there's long term and then there's short term, like dynamic crest factor, things like that. You know, to me, that would matter more. If you're listening at 80 decibels and then you have a dynamic peak come in that has 20 decibels, can that speaker do it? And then you have the amplifier power to do that. That's the other thing.
Oh yeah, there's other stuff. Neosh and OSHA. I don't know about this stuff. All I know is 500 watts is ridiculous. That level of loud is. I love that I can say, my speaker can handle 500 watts. That's cool. That's a cool number.
Yeah, that's like the
amplifier. That's too loud.
Like, what are you talking about? Like when sometimes like, okay, you go to this trade show, right? Will Klein is like, I'm like, Will, how much power we run into these Stradivari GT?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you know, about 500-600 watts. You know, it's a good healthy amount of. I just started laughing. I'm like 500 to 600 watts.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, really? I mean, at least, you know, when he was doing demos and stuff, he was actually playing some stuff to move woofers, you know, instead of just all of this stuff, you know, and it's just, they're just like, boop, 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 you know,
elevator music or what?
Yeah.
Does the Macintosh respond pretty quickly? Like if there's a dynamic like spike, boom, like does it quickly move like or is it kind of like an average, like moving slow?
Oh no, it's not slow at all. It seems to be, I would say it's really quick.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm kind of sad I got to send it back. But I knew the time was coming. I knew it was coming. It was great though to have for certain speakers like the Sonus Faber. People were like, "Well, what amp are you using with it? You're probably not even using the right amp." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm using the Macintosh MC462. You know, the same one that they show every Sonus Faber speakers playing with. I'm using that one."
Yeah. Oh, how about the satisfaction of just like,
yeah,
like
they're
in the corner.
Yeah. I love that's what I liked about using even the Parasound one is like. You can tell in the tone of the comments, like, I mean, like, what kind of amp are you even using? I'm like, I don't know, it's just a Parasound A52 Plus. Like, no comment, no response.
They're like, God damn,
nice.
And that's why I loved having those amplifiers up in my old home. I was not able to grab them, and they're not easy to grab. Those things will take time to unplug, and it's 100-pound amp on that A51. I would have loved to have that here, and even the guys at Miller and Kreisel, when they sent over their THX stuff, they're like, "What amp are you running?" I'm like, Parasound A51. They're like, "Oh, perfect. It's a THX Ultra rated amplifier." I'm like, "Yeah, 400 watts RMS. Let's go." Like,
all you need. All you need, 400 watts for every speaker.
That's it per channel. All channels driven. This is insane.
All right, everybody. We do the Daily Hi-Fi podcast every Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure you join up to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Daily Hi-Fi, and we will see you there for the big show every Monday. Yeah.